Out. Uh, Today I'm going to show you how to consume the RESTful web service by using Spring Boot. So when we talk consuming RESTful web service, so provider service should be up and running. So let see provider will be there and consumer. So any web service, if you want to consume that provider or that the service should be up and running, then only consumer can consume the particular service. So today, so I'm going to show you so whether a service RESTful web service is up or not, up and running or not. So this is the REST with the Spring Boot. This is the project which is meant to RESTful web service. So it is already created one, and now in this demo, I'm targeting just how to consume the RESTful web service. So already it is defined. So if you want, you can go through my previous videos where I explained completely how to create the simple RESTful web service with Spring Boot. So here, this is the in RESTful web service. We call any service as a resource according to REST specification. That's why I used here REST test center REST service. So this service will provide the test center information in the form of JSON. So for that, we have to create one model object. So here, see, test center is the model object which contains the three fields. One is ID, name, address, and the setter getter methods. So then test center resource. This is the actual service or endpoint which will return the test center information in the form of JSON. So let's take this is the we call this is the controller. So any class which is annotated with REST control that will act as a controller RESTful web service, and this is the REST endpoint. So this REST endpoint is mapped with the test center. So here this is for a demo purpose. That's why I created a model object instance and I set some dummy data like ID is 10,001 and the name is the test center one and address is Bangalore, India. Then I am returning it back to consumer. So here I am returning as a object, but internally it will convert the JSON. So JSON, that is I will explain in detail in next video. Okay, so then this is the actual class, so which is annotated with Spring Boot application. This that means here it will cover three annotations. One is at Spring Boot configuration, at components auto enable auto configuration, enable auto configuration and component scan. So when we annotate this any class with at Spring Boot application means it provides these three annotations functionalities. Then so this is the main method. We know all main method is the entry point to this application and application dot run. This application class will create the Spring container and it maintains the all beans life cycle. So now I'm going to start. So if this RESTful web service is up and running, then only we can consume it. So just I'm starting. We can start in couple of multiple ways. I'm choosing this way, like just right click on this one and select run as. Here two options are there: Java application and Spring Boot. I'm choosing Spring Boot. So by default port number is 8080. That's why Tomcat is started on port number 8080. You can see that one. That's it. And just we will make sure whether it is up and running properly or not. So I will consume from the browser localhost 8080. It is the default port number of embedded server, and test center is the mapped URL for that in particular endpoint. Just I'm clicking. You can see ID, name, and address which are available in the test center class. Those things we are seeing. This is a key and value pair. Whatever we set, the values, those are we are seeing. So 10,001 test center 1 and Bangalore, India. That's it. That means REST service is up and running. Now we can consume it by using Spring Boot. So I already defined this one also. It is very simple, and how to create the Spring Boot application. That one I already showed in my previous video. Just look into that one. So I give a name as a REST client with Spring Boot. So whenever I selected a web model, so that we can see here web model also. So when we create the any Spring Boot application by selecting web, so this one class will be automatically uh, created, and name will be like project name, REST client with Spring Boot, REST client with Spring Boot, and it will append application. So final name will be like this. So this is the one. So these two lines I added. These two methods, you can say two methods, and this is by default one. As I said in the RESTful web service, while explaining RESTful web service, I told this Spring application will create the it will do a lot of favorable things to us. Like one of that is creating a Spring container which will manage all bean life cycle, and the logging related thing also it will manage. So here we are consuming that RESTful web service by using REST template. REST template is a API which is provided by Spring. Okay, so then we are using a REST template builder which will return the REST template. So this is automatically injected by Spring only. So by using the Spring builder, we are getting the REST template. So this is the command line runner. It is we will use this one. So if anything we want to execute after our application is up and running, so I used this one. We can use in different way also. This is one of the way. That's why I used this, and this is the run method, which will return the command line runner. So it will be executed by passing this REST template by default. So here see REST template dot get for object. So this is there are multiple methods to consume the RESTful web services. This is the very famous one. That's why I used it. One more is exchange is there. So here I'm passing a URL of that RESTful web service. Where we saw this one http colon 8080 slash test center. So same thing I'm passing here http colon slash slash local host 8080 slash test center, and one more argument is a string. So this method will return the response in the form of a JSON, that is a string. Just I'm printing. So this is one thing, and we can give the particular entity object also, a model object. So for in our case, test center is the model object. We can give that one also. We will get that. First, we will check with as a string. So here that's it, and so by default port number will be embedded server port number will be 8080. So that is already used by REST service. So we have to use a different one. Otherwise, we will get the port number is already used exception. That's why for this we have to open application dot properties. Just we have to enter a server dot port number. This is predefined one. We should use server dot port number only. If you use some other things, it won't take, and we will get again. So port number is already used. That's so I used server dot port equal to 9090. If you want, you can use a different one also. No problem. So now I'm going to start the application. Just click here, right click, run as a Spring Boot application. We must show that we must see that output. See, it is a it is up and running, and it consumed that REST API, which returns the test center. So I printed that one test center info. I logged. So test center info is equal to ID is equal to 10,001, name is equal to test center one, and address is Bangalore, India, which is returned by the server. So server is nothing but here. You can see this is the we set 1001 test center one and Bangalore. This is a hard coded one. So in real time applications, that will be dynamic based on our logic and our business requirement. It will return. This is one. That's it only. So that's it. So we are seeing key and value pair. In the response as a response, this is the key, this is the value, and key value. Total three fields are there. We are getting three fields, keys and values. So if you want to, you can change this one as a model object also. For that, just I am closing the server, and service will be should be up and running. That RESTful web service should be up and running to consume that one. So just I am changing here test center, and here also test center. So this RESTful web service will return a response in the JSON format, and we are using a test center. So by default, Spring will convert that JSON response into this test center model object. So for that, so there are some message conversion. So by default, it will come automatically when we add starter web. Just I'm going to run. When you run, so we are calling code dot to string PC test center and test center. So to string method I overridden here. So when we will see values like ID is equal to this one, and name is equal to whatever name will come. This is the dynamic values, and address is equal to address. Okay, then I'm running. I'm starting this server, embedded server. So here we must see that response test center info value ID is equal to, earlier we saw ID is in double quote and colon value. Now it is a hard coded one. So it is in object oriented style. I made it like this. So ID equal to name is equal to address equal to. That's it, friends. Consuming RESTful web services by using Spring Boot, and particularly more precisely a REST template. We can consume that one in different several ways. This is the one of the way I showed. So if anything is there, if you are looking any specific approach, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching video.